I'm joined now by puppet artist Smith Henderson. Smith, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing all of your friends. I cannot wait to figure out the origin of your puppet making. When did all this begin?
I would say a lot of it sort of begins when you're little.
Yeah.
Just sort of curious about how all these things work. And originally, in kindergarten, I asked you like what you want to be when you grow up. I just wanted to be an artist. So I was into like animation and stuff. And Jim Henson was like the biggest inspiration, definitely.
Yeah. So at what point did you think, okay, I think these things are really cool and I want to be an artist, and then those two worlds came together and you started actually creating them?
I would say, well, that was always kind of the thing I wanted, would like to create things and like make a living at it somehow. As far as figuring out how to do that, didn't really come till later. I'd say I'd have been like 21 or 22 or something when I started like actually selling stuff that I could be like, that actually was like looked good enough for people to purchase.
That's what I wanted to get into next, was sort of the logistics of how these puppets come to be. I'm looking at them and I feel like each one would require so many different skills. Are you the one who sews them?
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you learn to sew, or did you learn to sew so that you could make the puppets?
My grandma like taught me to sew, and then eventually I got a sewing machine years later, and she's like showing me how to do that.
Yeah.
And then it's just sort of took off from there. I'd sort of pick up little things here and there. I wouldn't say formally trained in any of this. It's just sort of like pick up things. It's like, oh, I can use this and this, like two techniques. And because there's a lot that goes into like, there's just hand stitching, there's machine sewing, there's, finding the right scissors to do this stuff with. A lot of it is just sort of picked up here and there.
Okay, tell me about each individual puppet. How does it come to be? Are you designing it first on paper? Are you dreaming up a character? Are you thinking specifically about how it's going to look, or does it just sort of happen?
Most often it just kind of happens. A lot of my stuff sort of comes by getting a lot of materials together. Like I just look at like, I have this like a bunch at home. I'll just look at, okay, this fur I want to use for something, and I'll start like making something out of it. I'll like take patterns to it and stuff.
Do you make a pattern for each puppet, or do you have, like, is this a certain style that has a certain pattern that then you can repeat?
A lot of these, like all these are like from basically hand puppet patterns, sort of like a sock puppet in a way. And then I do make a lot of these glove puppets, which are like little, kind of like, I guess, like Mr. Rogers or something.
Yeah, so you can move their hands with your fingers. I'm going to have you demonstrate shortly, but I have so many more questions before we get there. Okay, so when you are choosing materials, you're putting them together. When it comes to the accessories like the hats and that type of thing, do you make those as well? Or is this a doll hat?
Sometimes I do. A lot of them are like, well, it's like around Halloween, when Spirit Halloweens pop up, I'm always like looking through everything there.
Yeah.
So it's always, for me at least, it's always just like keeping your eyes open to like odd things, like who would get a hat that size? Like,
right.
It's just like, why? Like I just see that in a store somewhere. It's like, I think this one was on like a Christmas candle or something. It was I was like, well, I gotta have that.
Okay, when you are sourcing the fabric, are you literally just walking through the fabric store and
Sometimes
thinking what speaks to me, or are you looking for specific things?
Sometimes it's what speaks to me. Other times it's well, especially if someone like contacts me to make something, if it's a commission, or because I do that sometimes. A lot of times I just make stuff that I want to make and put it out there, and if someone, wants it, then they'll, get it.
Yeah. Okay, so you have a puppet down here. I would love for you to bring him
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, this is Leroy.
I love Leroy.
Hello.
Leroy, where did your sweater come from? Because it's very stylish.
Oh, I'm really glad you asked that. This came from my uncle Emery Clavicle.
Okay, I love it. Okay,
yeah.
wait, now I
So
have
it's a hand-me-down, but it's kind of...
Oh, now I have to ask Smith. Okay, legit, is that, you did not create that yourself, did you?
No.
Okay, good.
I altered it a lot so it fits his little body.
That is
yeah.
wild. Even that skill. Again, when I look at how intricate these are, I'm thinking, man, that is so many different skills that you have to combine. Start to finish, how long did it take to create Leroy?
This guy, I think, I want to say about a week or so, just because I was like taking my time with it. I knew he was going to be for me, but I didn't really know what he would end up being.
In terms of sourcing, like I don't know what they're called, the sticks that move his arms.
Oh, those are just coat hanger wires.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was going to say, is that something like you
What?
get on
It is?
Amazon? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then in terms of their eyes, what are their eyes?
The eyes, those are, these eyes like these, and those are like little foam practice golf balls, or the tinier ones like this. They come from what are those weird like popper toys? They look like big bazookas, or
Yes, yeah.
or little animals that you squeeze their body and it shoots out little balls like this.
So is your whole life, everywhere you go, your eyes are peeled, no pun intended, but your eyes are peeled for different materials that then you just collect?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then do you know when you collect it, what it's going to be, or?
Not always. Sometimes you know right away what it's going to be, because it's like, oh, I've been looking for something for this purpose, and I finally found it. That's one of the things that's really exciting about it.
Yeah.
When you finally find the thing that is gonna work for something.
He is so fun. Okay, you knew that Leroy was going to be for you.
Yeah.
What is the process of getting a commission? If somebody reaches out to you and says, okay, this is what I have in mind, are they going so far as to tell you what colors, or do you have some?
Sometimes it's difficult to get people to tell you what they want because they don't know always.
Yes, I was going to say,
But, yeah.
Maybe they know what they don't want.
Yeah, that helps too.
How often are you making puppets? Is this something you do every day, every week?
Almost every day. I'm always, doing some part of it's like a bunch of little steps. I'm usually doing something each day.
Yeah.
And there's breaks in there sometimes, because sometimes like every July, I go to this ventriloquist convention. So before then I have to make a bunch of puppets for that, because a lot of ventriloquists like what I do. It's in the Cincinnati, Kentucky area, the Vent Haven Museum. It's a museum full of like ventriloquist dummies. It's dedicated to ventriloquism.
Wow.
And I just sort of went there on a fluke because I was kind of interested in this kind of like puppetry and stuff. They told me, oh, you should come to this convention. It's later this year. And I was like, okay, I'll see what that's about. And when I went there and meet all these, amazing people I'm still friends with, and people from all over the world. So it's great. It's a great place to go, and you can get your artwork seen by all these people from, overseas and from everywhere.
Yeah, and I imagine you learn so much by looking at other people's
definitely,
work.
Yeah.
And how do you think you have grown as an artist from 2016, for example, when you really started?
I would say a lot of it is little things. Like I've just gotten better at sewing seams that you can't see very well, because that's a big thing in puppet. You don't want to see, like this guy, you can see a seam right in his nose, but that's probably from
That adds character.
2015 or something. Yeah,
What is the best part of creating these fun, functional pieces of art?
I think a lot of it is just like getting them on and talking to people.
Yeah.
Because I don't really perform like professionally or anything, but sometimes when I just have them out and they're like, looking around and people are like, oh, he's just staring at me, but he's like so alive.
Yeah. How long have you had Leroy?
I'd say I made him in like 2019, I want to say. I'd say by like 2020, I had a lot more time to figure him out.
Yeah, didn't we all?
Yeah.
And is he someone that you are interacting with every day, or does he only come out sometimes? I guess I should ask him. Leroy, do you
Yeah.
come out every day?
I mean, I'm out. I don't we have a weird relationship. I'm not around him a lot.
You don't chat very often?
Oh, no. That's why would I go put myself through that?
More of an introvert, I understand.
No, he's the introvert. I'm the extrovert. I just like to. So tell me about yourself.
Well, the whole point of this show is that I don't have to talk about myself.
Oh, okay.
I get to learn all about you. And I get to learn all about you. And I am so privileged to talk to amazing artists all the time. You are among them. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me here.
For more information, find Henderson Hand Puppets on Instagram.
Arts in Focus on PBS Fort Wayne is funded in part by the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne,